and get another one.
Unless you make conscious effort to sit down and learn.
My name is Obeng Darko. Welcome. Today I want to share with you lifting your intellectual capacity. Lifting your intellectual capacity. There are things that sometimes you can use to measure success, and mainly most people will use fame, financial success, maybe family achievement, the kind of businesses that they have built, political power, maybe they have built religious organization, influence. So you have people who have become successful in sports, in entertainment, in industry, in politics, in academia, in research. Some people are on the street, and and a lot of them have become successful in their various fields. But there is something that you need to develop, and that is your ability to think and process information that come to you, and you being able to do that for life, for your peace, for your comfort, for your joy, for your happiness. And that is what I'm trying to call lifting your intellectual capacity. Sometimes some people can have money, because the businesses that they do, they see money. But sometimes when they are talking and you see how they are able to break issues down, the arguments that they build, you can see that these people would have to lift their intellectual capacity. Intellectual capacity means that you've been able to access data, not just talking out of your feelings. There is data that you acquire, and you've been able to assimilate the data and come out with something that suits the occasion. And one of the things that you benefit from in terms of you developing your intellectual capacity or lifting your intellectual capacity is your ability to solve problems. No matter the problems, your ability to massage and look at it, handle the problem. Maybe it's financial. Maybe it's a personal problem, maybe it's a company problem, maybe it's a financial problem, or even as a society, as a country. The intellectual of the average person of any country shows the organization in that country. And most often the intellectual capacity or the intellectual ability of those who lead any organization, any country, will show the things that they pay attention to. You cannot be complaining of something else and be paying attention to another thing and thinking that those that are critical things that you need to solve will solve by themselves. So your ability to solve problems will be directly linked to how much you have been able to develop intellectually. Humans are creative beings. Humans, the mind that we have, God gave us this mind so that we can solve problems with them. And as a matter of fact, if things become very difficult in difficult times, that's how you call on your intellectual capacity. So how you explain things to yourself, how you explain things that happen. There are two things that people use to explain things that happen. Is either they're using the superstitions, the religious, the spiritual interpretation of things, or they are using data analysis, research things to explain things that happen in life. And many people have off the other side, so they use superstition, religion, spirit, and there are many, especially in our kind of environment. So something happens to you, and the first thing people will say is that somebody else is doing you, because they are not open to the other side of information, to the other side of life. They are, many people will not read anything on finance, but they will hope that one day their finances will change. And if nothing happens, it means that there was some spiritual force somewhere that was in charge of their life. As we began this year, you heard it. Some people will call themselves prophets, and they will tell us whatever is going to happen this year, as if humans don't have any choice, as if humans don't have any decisions to make, as if humans don't have any ability to avert anything that is not so much desirable, and almost all the things that they predict are things that are negative, that are gloomy, the dooms that they predict. But I am of a firm conviction that humans have a lot of abilities to create and to part the processes and things that happen in their lives. So if Ghana is going to do well this year, it's going to be based on those who are in charge of our economy, the decisions that they make, the choices that they make, where they send the money and where don't send the money, how honest they are, how truthful they are with the activities of the country. The same with your finances, the same with your life this year. If anything is going to happen to you, whether it's good or bad, some things can happen without you committing so much, without you having so much influence. But even that, the way you respond to those things that happen will depend on how much you understand and how intellectually you have developed. So there is very much important that you focus on, on improving your ability to think for yourself, your ability to think for yourself. So intellectual capacity is very much important. The products that you create, the problems that you solve, the quality of your relationship, the quality of your life, how organized your environment is, how organized the things that you do are, even the things that frustrate you, they go a long way to prove how much you have developed yourself intellectually. And human beings were created to be intellectual. It's not just a certificate of how you use data to analyze things and think through issues, and not just out of instinct and out of emotions per se, even though that part is important. But you being able to say or being able to think to solve problems and to have proper outlook of life. If you don't do that, then the others will easily, the people who are easily deceived have decided not to develop themselves intellectually. The people who are easily put into fear and panic are people who have decided not to develop themselves intellectually. The other day, my son, we were working and we came in late, and he sent message and we were not able to respond. And he said that he was thinking that maybe we had an accident, and I said, don't just happen like that. Accidents happen because people make decisions and choices. And so if you're driving and you pay attention and you follow the rules, you are likely not to have accident. Even if somebody hits you, you are likely to survive. So whenever even I see a lot of dangerous accidents on our road, most often they come out of carelessness, wrong decisions and choices. Many of them, not all, but many of them. So there are a lot of things that you can control in your life this year if you're careful, if you pay attention to the laws, to the regulations, to the things that guide. Most often, if you see any mishap, if you see anything that took people's life, look at it where there was something that they did not follow. Many times, many times. So it's not just that we have no control, we have no power, and anything at all can happen and take us out. No, there are choices that we have to make. There is will that we express, and much of it is dependent on the knowledge that we have, the wisdom that we have developed, the way we understand life. So this year, commit to developing your mind, developing your intellectual ability. Making sure that there are things that you research before you commit so much to it. There are things that you understand. There are protocols that you have to follow. If do you understand how anything is built at all? If you don't, then study it. Don't just say that anything at all can happen. And some people will say that, when your time has not come. But if it's your time, all of us, it is our time. What matters is you knowing and becoming who you have to be for you to get the results that you must have. There is work that you must do. There are things that you must position well for you to see the results that you're looking for. I don't believe that somebody's time has come and my time has not come, and God is somewhere positioning things, and so when your time is due, then everything will open to. I don't share those kind of things. I don't think life is about luck. I don't think that somebody is lucky and I am not. I believe that we are all blessed. I believe that we all, if you put in the work, we will get the results that we so desire. To some level, every one of us, if you know the things that you must pay attention to and you pay attention to them, you will have the results that you're so looking for. Things don't just happen. It's not like somebody else is cursed you, or somebody else is making sure that you nothing good will happen in your life. I don't share that. I believe that yes, there will be some difficulties that I will meet, based on the level of the knowledge that I'm starting with, the level of the network that I have, the level of influence that I have, the level of understanding that I have. But if I commit to say that I need to become it for it to become, that is the kind of philosophy and I believe that all of us have that potential if we were left our intellectual capacity. So we live in an environment, we live in a country that we promote a lot of religiosity, we promote a lot of magic and superstition, we promote a lot of politics, we promote a lot of sports and entertainment, we promote a lot of things. But we hardly promote our ability to develop the mind that God gave us, and your ability to develop that intellectual capacity, that intellectual weight that you have, lift it to a higher level, because many times those are the things that are going to decide your results in life. So my name is Kwabena Darko. Today I'm talking about lifting your intellectual capacity. Be aware that there is something they call intellectual capacity, your ability to develop the mind that you have, so that you can analyze issues, the things that you see, the things that you feel, the things that information, to process the information and make the right decisions and choices and follow them through and develop the right discipline. That is key. That's why when you come to the computer, for instance, they say that this is the capacity of the computer, because that's the amount of data that computer can store and process. So the higher the capacity, the faster that it can do things, and the more complex things that this computer or this gadget can solve. So human beings have that unlimited capacity. It's in our hands. It matters the training that we are exposed to. And so if you're exposed to quality training, then your intellectual capacity will expand. Then you will not limit yourself. You cannot just say that your life is somewhere, and you have no control, and whatever will happen will happen. It's not like that. A lot of the things that will happen this year, they will happen because we will allow them to happen, or we don't allow them to happen. Nothing will just happen. Anything that happens in us, to us in this life, much of it we have control. Much of it we have control. And so it's in our hands. Our future really is in our hands. Whether we play good or we play evil, is it with us as a people. Our destiny is with us. Depends on what we use, what the Creator gave us to do. And that we have to understand, and that we have to think through. And so my name is Kwabena Darko. I'm saying that your ability to think, to solve problems, has a lot to do with the quality of your the intellectual capacity that you have, and the one that you have developed. And your life, the fulfillment, the way you explain things. A lot of the times it's not just the money that you have, but the way you understand life has a lot to do with how you have developed this capacity that you have, and your fulfillment in life. How you see life, how fulfilled you are, how peaceful you are, has a lot to do with how much time you have committed in developing this intellectual capacity that you have. And your ability to process data that comes to you, information that comes to you, how you ask questions. Can anybody else trick you? Can anybody else just outwit you? It has a lot to do with your intellectual ability. It's not just about financial success or power in society, but many times it's also about how developed the people are mentally, intellectually. How developed the people are is key. And what we focus on, the problems that we focus on to solve in a society, they reflect the intellectual capacity that we have, the intellectual development that we have, how we have developed our intellectual ability, how well we have developed that. And so if you want to position your children, don't just let them focus on developing maybe a sports skill or music skill. Even that, you have to focus on them developing the ability, the brain that God gave them to organize and to position their lives well. So I want to say thank you very much.